Usually when we talk about scientific measurement, there is this expectation of precision.
Right. Yeah, it's definitive.
Exactly. Like with engineering. You measure a room, the laser pointer shows exactly 12 feet, and the contractor just points and says, there it is.
Yeah, the math just works.
But then you step into the world of paranormal investigation, and suddenly that laser pointer is just bounced off shadows.
It is the ultimate wild goose chase, mainly because nobody can agree on what a goose even looks like.
So today, we are doing a deep dive into an exhaustive academic report on the science, psychology, and sociology behind paranormal investigation.
Our mission here is really to uncover why so many people hunt ghosts and, well, what they're actually experiencing in the dark.
Right, because it's a field where the very definition of proof is completely up for debate. It's funny. For a subculture that supposedly deals with the unknown, you turn on any ghost hunting show, and it looks, incredibly scientific.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone is running around with real tech, like EMF meters to measure electromagnetic fields.
Or they're looking at that ovalus thing, which supposedly translates environmental data into dictionary words.
But there is a massive difference between genuine science and just adopting a scientific aesthetic. Amateur groups practice what researchers call anomaly hunting.
Meaning they inherently assume an unexplained cold spot or a static spike is a spirit.
Exactly. They are deploying increasingly expensive gadgets without any rigorous hypothesis testing, which is a classic hallmark of pseudoscience.
Okay, let's unpack this. Isn't using an EMF meter to detect a ghost kind of like using a thermometer to prove it's Tuesday?
That is a perfect way to put it.
Like you were getting a real factual reading, but the conclusion you draw from it is entirely made up.
Right, they are generating massive false positives. There is simply no established baseline proving that ghosts emit electromagnetic radiation in the first place.
Right.
You can't measure a deviation from a norm that just does not exist.
Okay, I'll buy that the gadgets are just picking up bad wiring or drafts. But, that doesn't explain the human element. You can't fake the sheer dread people feel in these places, or the fact that they are physically seeing shadows.
No, you can't. And to understand that, we have to look at biology and, frankly, bad architecture.
Bad architecture.
Yeah. The research highlights an engineer named Vic Tandy, who discovered something incredible regarding infrasound. He was working in a lab that people honestly thought was haunted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And one day, he clamped his fencing foil in a vise, and it just started vibrating wildly on its own. So he tracked it down to a newly installed extractor fan generating a 19 hertz standing sound wave.
Wait, really? The fan was vibrating at the exact frequency to shake the blade.
Yes, and what's fascinating here is that 19 hertz perfectly resonates with the human eyeball.
No way.
It really does. It causes microvibrations that trigger severe panic attacks, hyperventilation, and even optical artifacts in your peripheral vision.
That is wild.
People literally see a gray ghost and feel immense dread, all because of an exhaust fan. Add in other environmental hazards like carbon monoxide poisoning, which perfectly mimics haunting symptoms like paranoia, and the physical reactions are very real.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Are you telling me the classic Victorian haunted house could have just been cured with a carbon monoxide detector and a better exhaust fan?
In many documented cases, yes. It is a phenomenon researchers call the shrinking paranormal. As our scientific understanding of unseen environmental hazards advances, the domain of what we consider supernatural continuously shrinks.
So if we can debunk the drafts with a carbon monoxide detector and debunk the dread with a 19 hertz fan, why are there still so many smart people out there hunting for ghosts? It isn't a lack of intelligence.
Not at all. It comes down to cognitive processing. Believers possess what psychologists call a liberal response bias.
Which means they need less sensory evidence to declare that a pattern exists. Right.
Exactly. So it's not that they are hallucinating things that aren't there. It's that their brains are aggressively connecting the dots. It's called pareidolia.
Like trying to extract language from a radio sweep.
Right. Finding faces in random white noise. But there is a sociological drive here, too. These amateur groups operate outside of mainstream religion and rigid academia. They function as a quest culture.
So what does this all mean for you listening? I have to push back a bit, or at least ask, is this subculture less about finding dead spirits and more about finding a living community?
That sociological drive for community is undeniable. They do provide deep, non-judgmental support. The complication arises when that vulnerability meets reality TV and dark tourism.
Ah, right.
You have an industry that takes genuine human tragedy or loss and commercializes it into dimp scares. It heavily exploits that quest culture, trading empathy for entertainment.
Wow. Well, for you tuning in, understanding the mechanics of ghost hunting, from 19 hertz sound waves to liberal response biases, really helps you recognize how easily your own brain fills in the blanks.
Definitely. It makes you a sharper, critical thinker in your everyday life. We are fundamentally hardwired to find meaning in the static.
Which leaves me with this thought to wrap up our deep dive. We know human brains suffer from auditory pareidolia, finding language in white noise.
Right.
But as we increasingly rely on artificial intelligence to interpret ambiguous environmental data, what happens when we train machines to find patterns in the static? Will our future ghost hunters just be algorithms experiencing digital pareidolia?
That is a terrifying thought.
Because suddenly, that scientific laser pointer bouncing off shadows in the dark isn't in a human hand anymore. It's in a machine's.